in tones. Okay. So what we'll do now is we'll move forward and we'll put together our elements of our P.E.E.L paragraph. So Carly, can you please remind us what is the P standing for in P.E.E.L?
It stands for point.
Excellent, awesome. And so if we were to think about answering our focus question, which as we remember from the other slide is how does I Was Only 19 subject matter and lyrics convey the tone of the song, what kind of point could we put together to answer that question? So let's start, what do we think the tone of the song is? Or what we'll pick one tone from what we covered. Any tone, it's up to you. So we could go with sad, regretful, angry.
Maybe sad.
Sad, okay. So we could say, how would we turn that into our point?
So you can say he uses the lyrics and the subject matter to sort of make the song sound sad.
Okay, so we could put that together. We could say the songwriter.
Who sung this?
There was a couple of there was the writer and then there's the singer, or the author and then the singer. That is a good question. What I might do once we've done this is, well, I think it's Redgum, but I'll check that out. So the songwriter uses lyrics, lyrics and subject matter to convey a sad tone. A sad tone. Okay. Michael, could you please tell me or remind the class what our first E stands for?
Explain.
Explain. Do you want to try again?
Evidence.
Evidence. Excellent. So now that we've made a point, we need to state our evidence to support that point. So what we'll do, if we go back to our mood and tone, so what lyrics, okay, do we remember from the song? If you need to use your notes or perhaps pull up a lyric sheet just as a reminder, what lyrics can we think of that conveys a sad tone?
All of them?
All of them, okay. So I think a lot of, while we maybe take a moment to consider it, what I would say is that I guess a lot of the lyrics that we've got here, even God help me, I was only 19, seems like a plea, a cry for help, especially, we've specifically got there, help me. So there's definitely that negative emotion there, okay? And we know, obviously, we're starting with I was only 19. When we're using words with negative connotations like only, okay, we are definitely setting up the audience in a negative mindset, okay, and then we might pull up, let me go through what I've got here. So one of the lyrics we have is it was a war within yourself. So when we're looking at something like a war within yourself, the word war, okay, has a very negative connotation to it. So when we think of war, we think of death, we think of destruction, we think of, there's definitely, sadness there. And then the idea of a war within yourself, okay, can even be, we're internalizing that struggle. So we know that there's death, there's sadness, okay, and then we're internalizing it. So we go, the songwriter is almost pulling on the audience's own experiences, okay, and saying, we're looking at identifying with the subject matter. We're thinking of war, and then we're thinking of, well, when have we had an internal struggle in our own lives, and how has that affected us? So not only is he using lyrics and imagery that he's creating and putting out there, he's also asking the audience to really dig on their own negative emotions, okay? So what we would say there is the songwriter uses lyrics like a war within yourself and uses the negative, okay, connotations, negative feelings associated
It's an S.
It is an S. Thank you, Carly. That's really great. And then I think there's a second S, or it could be a C. It could be a second S. Okay, and I think it goes like this. Okay, associated with individual, okay, words and phrases in the lyrics. Excellent. Okay, and then and that sort of brings us into our explanation, okay, which is the second E, and as we said, the songwriter has used phrases like a war within yourself, which is a type of figurative language. Does anyone remember what type of figurative language that would be?
Is it a metaphor?
Yes, it can be a metaphor. So we're looking at something where the words or the phrase itself doesn't actually mean, has a different meaning to what is explicitly there. Okay, it could also be
tip of my tongue.
Yeah, I've also put it down as hyperbole. Nailed it. Okay. Okay, so, yes, so negative feelings, and what we're seeing there is that the songwriter has used those phrases, the negative feelings attached to those phrases to create that feeling of sadness. So Carly, you pointed out at the beginning that even though you couldn't remember all the lyrics, you came away, the first thing you said was sadness. So we know that even though in the song, he hasn't come out and said, I was sad because I went to war, you got that feeling because the words he chose to use created that feeling inside you. You put those images and those feelings together yourself and came away with that tone of sadness. So then we would say linking back, which is the second one. So Michael, could you give us a linking sentence? Well, Carly, yeah, can you help Michael?
I have a question. Does link mean it links back to the original thesis sentence, or does it link to the next one, the next paragraph?
Ideally, it would do both.
Okay.
So for now, because we're only writing one paragraph, it's enough just to link back to your original point. However, in the scale of a full, say, if you were to do an essay for your assessment, you would have your P.E.E.L for your body paragraph 1, and then your linking sentence would reiterate the point from the original, from the beginning of your paragraph, but then it would also link to your next point in your body paragraph 2. So if we were to adjust the question to say something like what tones are conveyed through the lyrics and subject matter, you might say, therefore the songwriter uses imagery and figurative language to convey the message of or a tone of sadness. However, these also convey a secondary tone of regret or anger.